can start whenever you want. Yeah.
Hello everyone. I want you to imagine a future where our minds are no longer bound to biological limitations. Imagine a future where our thoughts, our memories and our consciousness can be uploaded to a digital platform and free from the constraints of aging, diseases and even death. So, do you think that this can be the next human breakthrough of evolution, like a neural nirvana, or a next digital prison where there is the risk of control, manipulation, or even deletion? This isn't just science fiction. This is the core of transhumanism. The idea started with Julian Huxley in 1957. And then some other thinkers started adding ideas on that. You see here Kurzweil, Bostrom, and more. You might recognize Kurzweil because he's the guy who proposes the idea of singularity occurring in 2045. And then we have Nick Bostrom, who is a philosopher at the University of Oxford. He warns about an implosion of AI, and he states also that it can be an existential risk from the human race, and we might need safety measures against it. But then we also have Max More, who proposes a more positive and optimistic point of view towards AI. And he truly believes that by merging human minds and technologies, we will reach a human intelligence that will be amplified rather than replaced, and that consciousness shouldn't be limited by the biological existence. So I wanted to show you the technologies that are the basis for the transhumanism. The first of all is brain-computer interfaces, because we need a direct link between human mind and the machines. An example is Neuralink. Then, of course, it goes without saying that we will need artificial intelligence and hopefully an artificial superintelligence. And of course, we will need genetic engineering and nanotechnology. And why is that? Because we aim to increase and enhance our capabilities by acting directly on our biologies with techniques like CRISPR. And all these technologies can really redefine the human existence, but at what cost? So to understand that and to see in which direction this transformation is headed, we need to go back in time and look at the history of AI. Throughout the course, we have seen some time points in the history of AI. We started by set the foundation of AI in 1950s with the introduction of the Turing test by Alan Turing. Then in 1997, we saw how Deep Blue defeated the world chess champion Kasparov. In 2011, we saw IBM Watson, who won Jeopardy. And we saw how artificial intelligence reached capability of understanding the natural language. I decided to include also two predictions by Kurzweil, who stated that in the 2020s and 2030s, the AI system could have reached a human-like intelligence and then super intelligence by reaching the singularity. Which is funny. What is funny is that this prediction of the singularity got corrected by Sam Altman, who is the CEO of the OpenAI, like ChatGPT. And in an interview last December 2024, he stated that the superintelligence might be possible in the next 1,000 days. And if we do the calculation, it's 2025, which is this year, by the way. Sometimes I type 2023, but yeah, it's 2025. So to understand the science behind it and realize that the present is not the future and we need to act on it, I wanted to tell you more about what it means to go towards the superintelligence. In the course, we already studied what is the reinforced learning. We need to train AI in a way that it develops the ability to have a complex decision making, in a way that surpasses the human thinking style. Of course, we will need a brain emulation. And why is that? Because if we are aiming to upload our mind to a cloud, we need to have the structure and functioning of the actual human brain and then uploading it into a digital network. Finally, we need to have the neural augmentation, because after enhancing the cognitive properties of our brain, we then need to combine our biology with artificial intelligence. But what does it mean this, and how this is connected to mind uploading? And if AI is able to emulate the brain, would this mean that we will be able to upload our mind and then upload our consciousness into a digital platform? And if we upload our mind, would it mean that we will be digital immortals? So, to do this, some scientists started working on the idea on whole brain emulation and then mind uploading. Whole brain emulation, it's based on the idea that we can scan and the whole neural structure of the brain, and then after that we will be able to upload and all the consciousness into a digital platform. And this is what Sandberg is actually doing at the Oxford Faculty of Institute. Other projects already proved, like Blue Brain Project and BrainGate, that they are able to reproduce some portion of the brain and enable some thought control interfaces. So if these trends continue, then we will be soon face the idea of an actual digital consciousness. But there are still some technical challenges that we need to face. First of all, we need to map our brain. Our human brain contains 86 billions of neurons, and each of that has 100,000 synaptic connections. And not only that, we need to reproduce the structure and the functionality of our brain. This will require an ultra-high resolution imaging. Then we need hardware capabilities. And with the technologies that we have now, it's still not possible. So we need to work on that. Finally, we need to understand and study more the biochemical basis of the consciousness, and then improve the interaction between the biological and artificial intelligence in a way that we can enable the data transferring between these two systems. But how does it work when we finally reach the neural nirvana? If we are able to reach this mind uploading, then it basically means that we are free from diseases, death, and any kind of physical limitations. And also the consciousness will enable us to be immortal and have a continuous cognitive enhancement. In the future, the human intelligence will be far beyond our actual constraints, and we will be able to think faster, interact with far more information that we are doing right now, and also possibly even communicate telepathically with direct neural link. However, there is always a dark side. So what happens if we are uploading our mind, and who controls this uploading? Who controls this system? Also, if AI is controlling the cloud, this intelligence is interacting with our thoughts, with our memories. It's influencing our perception of the reality. If the uploads is on a government or company-owned software, this entity now owns our mind or not. These are all possible scenarios that can happen in a negative perception of the mind uploading. And also, I have a more philosophical question for you that I want you to ask. Think of when we started digitalizing everything. And from piles of paper, we started buying laptops, smartphones, and everything. We wanted to get rid of the papers and notebooks, and we started buying tablets and everything. If a digital copy of ourselves exists, does the original copy us? Does matter or not?
I would say yes.
I know I don't have an answer yet. Because if I think, like, when I was thinking about this question, I was thinking at the example itself. And most of the time when I have, like, my notes, for example, for one exam or one course, after copying everything in my laptop, I then trash everything out. And then I save just the digital copy. And then I was like, but if I upload my mind somewhere, then I would like to have myself trashed out. So, yeah.
Sorry, I was going to say, would the digital one have the emotional intelligence as well, or just the intellectual?
I would say yes, because also our memories and thoughts are meant to be there. Okay. So it's meant to be 360 ourselves. So okay. I think so.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and they might be able to feel more than you can feel, you know, a wider range of everything.
Because the idea is also that with the more we improve the AI and by reaching the superintelligence, we also increase the empathy of AI. So also that kind of perspective is covered. So even our perspective is considered when uploading, and everything is preserved, hopefully. This is the idea. So while brainstorming, I was thinking of the ethical implication, and even in the best case scenario, I was like, what is the new concept of human consciousness then, when we all shift to a digital form of ourselves? And there is the possibility of losing our control on ourselves. So we still want to upload our mind, and how we can act and what we can do to avoid a digital dystopia. So since we are on the age of a new revolution, a new era for the human race, because as Sam Altman said, it's 2025, and so it's very present and not much future. We have to act and do something. And my question is, do we want to embrace superintelligence, or should we fear it? Do we want to blindly go towards a dystopia, or do we want to do something and maybe go towards a sort of enlightenment when we want to positively benefit from the superintelligence? So our choices will make a difference and shape the future of the human race. And a good idea should be to set the basis on freedom, autonomy, and ethical responsibility. And one last thing that I want to leave you with is, if you get the chance to upload your mind whenever it's possible, as it looks so, would you want to upload your mind, and would you ever think to come back? Thank you.
So in the history of this course, of course, we've talked about this a lot, and I have a lot of presentations about multiple instances of self, and you know that in music videos, that's also very common, where the protagonist is there in one image, and then suddenly there are 3, 4, 5 of the same person. And you can imagine a life where you never miss anything. There are two things you want to do at the same time. You can be at them both, you know, represented by different versions of yourself. And you can have parties that are just you, all the versions of yourself having a party together. It'd be so much fun because you're so compatible, eh? So, yeah.
I mean,
we don't really know how this is going to work. There are some artifacts in the system now, in that some people talk about destructive uploading, where as you're uploading your consciousness, you are like getting completely destroyed as your mind goes to the cloud. So then there isn't a really you, there's just an empty shell at the end. I don't think that is going to be how it works, but that's how some people think about it. On the other hand, if you're a real conspiracy theorist, imagine a world where there are multiple instances of many people. It's going to be very confusing, right? When people say they're telling you the truth, say, but there's a video of you, and no, that's not me. So anyway, we don't know how this is all going to work, but it sounds like fun in a way. Yeah. So the other thing that happened in the history of the course is during COVID, really unusual things happened. We were using my 4-car garage as a place to shoot videos, and my 7-year-old granddaughter did a video with a medical student and me about mind uploading, and she already had a fair amount of experience with Minecraft and other video games, so it sort of made sense to her. And it was kind of sad because we thought that, like a lot of people, their most memorable statements are from the age of 27. But if everybody starts uploading in the 2030s, then my 7-year-old granddaughter would not ever make it to 27 as a biological human. She'd already be up there, and she'd miss that magic age of 27. So like Rudolf Virchow, the most famous pathologist ever, was also the mayor of a middle-sized town in Germany and stuff. Virtually all the quotes from him are the stuff he wrote when he was 27. So those of you who are close to that age, you better get busy and do all your great thinking. Any other questions?
Well, when we're talking about uploading ourselves, is this like the idea of uploading it for the public, or would it be like a private thing? Because that would be another issue, would be privacy. If you're uploading.
Well, you can live in like a ceramic slab or something. Like, in the movie 2001, there were these big ceramic things, and that's the idea that maybe there are people living in them. And imagine being the first person to upload your brain like that. The pressure on you to report that it's great, that it's fantastic, it's going to be overwhelming, right? So nobody can believe what you say because they think, all these companies who are investing in this tech, and they want to hear from you, the first person, about how great it feels, how great it looks, how it's much better than regular life. And therefore you're lying through your teeth, and none of that's true, and you were paid to say it, and so on. Yeah. So that's going to be another moment that will be really weird for our culture, trying to figure out what is the truth, because the uploaded minds are going to be under such pressure to also to say that, no, I'm not crazy, my psychiatric health is as good as it was when I was a biological human. When you can think of all the pleasures in life and so on that seem to depend upon doing things in your body, right? And are things that you really can't do in the same way once you upload. But in terms of feeling things, your range of feeling, your range of experience, and how fast you can travel at the speed of light, which would never be possible in your clunky body. So, yeah, anyway,
I have 2 questions.
yeah.
Can you define nirvana, and also you told that we are reaching the what do you call it, the absolute truth, or I can't remember the term you used. Something infinity, or like the better understanding of infinity or something, you mentioned like that, right? Anyway, what do you mean by nirvana? Like, what is the ultimate goal?
So the idea of for the title, it was that we are reaching something bigger, right? So it's like the highest level that we can reach in terms of intelligence, and the highest enhancement that we can reach in our brain activity. And so that's why I thought about neural nirvana, where we are digitally immortal.
Yeah.
So it's like we are safe, we don't get any kind of disease, we don't age. So that's why I got the kind of inspiration for the title. And also we are at our maximum capability, and yeah.
So how do you think, or like, how do you define a person or AI or a brain which is being uploaded, or the consciousness which has been uploaded to this platform or in future anywhere? How do you define as the optimal level of intelligence, like the top level of intelligence? How do you define that?
With respect to what you're saying?
You said that it will reach the most, like the topest level of intelligence, right? It's something to do with nirvana. So how do you define it in your own words?
Because like in my mind, what I thought is that once we beat every kind of disease in Earth, and we are able not to die and not age, then we are okay. And then by if we are modifying our DNA in a way that we are perfectly fine, then technically our body is perfect, right? So we don't have any kind of problem. And then it's kind of difficult to put it into words, because it's a little bit conceptual. So because you don't have a kind of definition of what is the best thing, right? Because you can always aspire for something better. So whenever it comes to super, you can always reach a higher level, right? But what I had in my mind is that once we combine with AI and we merge our capabilities with AI, and AI has already proven the fact that he can, as a machine, can think faster and elaborate faster, but we have the capabilities of, for example, even basically fast check, for example. By combining that, we already are reaching a better and super intelligence than before. I don't know if I explained myself.
Yeah, I think you explained.
I don't know if it makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a bit, yeah.
Would you personally upload your consciousness towards the cloud or drive that you're thinking of?
I think that if it's protected enough by laws, yes, I would do that.
Yeah, because in the concept of like nirvana, so when you are reaching the highest level of consciousness and intelligence, it's the pathway to define like yourself, right? It's the ultimate way to understand yourself. But when you go towards that point and when you reach the point, hit the point, when you reach the nirvana, that's the moment when you identify there's nothing called as you. That's the moment. So when there's a concept like that. I don't know, like correct me if I'm wrong. So
so you think that
when you reach the nirvana,
it won't be you anymore.
no, there's nothing called as you when you reach that point.
Okay, I see.
You understand that there's no one is been defined as you, because if it's interesting, I can explain from like 3 minutes. So if you meet me, when you if you meet me in the class, we introduce ourselves, right? I say I'm Dilshan, I'm a student of University of Alberta, and I'm in Edmonton. So actually, it's not a personal definition. It's just we select some like parameters which is eligible to like define us, and we form a definition. So that's defining yourself, but that's not myself. Like that's not me. So it's just some random things which are accurate maybe, and we define ourselves using some words, but in that definition those parameters can be used commonly for each and every other as well, but we differentiate ourselves using one, maybe my name. But we are all in University of Alberta and we are all in Edmonton, but my name is different, and there can be someone else using my name have the same parameters as well, so that's not a proper definition of myself. So when we come to the body, so it's like what I defined was the external environment. So then we come to our body. So every organ in our body is mine but not me. My arm, my leg, my brain, that's not me. So then we keep it aside as well. So we keep our environment aside, we keep our body aside. Then what's there? It's only the mind is there, right? And even the mind, when we define the mind, it's my mind, but that's not me. So when you try to understand everything, then you see that the concept of me is not there anymore. It's just we have synthesized everything, and conceptually we have built up a thing called me. So reaching that level is the ultimate nirvana. So when you reach that level, you see that if there's no one called me, we don't have to repent on anything. That's the ultimate conscious level, being stable mentally without reacting to anything happening around you. So we have a mind which is very clear and it is not distracted by anything.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So we think of all of our intelligence being in our brain,
Yeah.
but actually there's intelligence in all parts of the body. There's kind of a memory of what's supposed to be there. And in lower animals, that's how they regenerate so perfectly, like in amphibia and so on. You can cut off a limb and they regrow the limb exactly like what was there, and stops, and there's nothing that keeps going once it's regenerated. And so the memory of what's supposed to be there isn't in the brain, it's in that part of the body. And so you would imagine that if you're really wanting to get all of yourself uploaded, then you would upload all that information about your body, all the local parts of the body too.
Yeah, I was gonna say earlier when you were talking about uploading the mind and being in a cylinder or something like that, there's a sense of who you are in, for example, your senses, your environment. You won't be getting an immersive experience of it. For example, if we were to put our minds and upload our minds into the cylinder that we were talking about, would it still be you if you can't feel, if you can't smell the way that you do in your own body? Like, is that still, would you still carry the same experiences if you kind of lose your senses or what it may be? So that's why when you were saying earlier, or when you were saying earlier that the like I am Janine and I'm Edmonton, Alberta, and things like that. But that is also what makes me me, because I'm present right now and this is what I look like, and I'm taking up this space right here, and I have my thoughts and my opinions, and I am touching a table, and that is an experience, and it's me here, and you guys are all looking at me doing that, if that makes sense. So that's, can you upload that and then still have these experiences like right here, like being present, and that, because that's what makes me me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's not the only question. The question is there any limit to how many instances of yourself you could make when you upload, right? And what's fair and so on. If you make 5 instances of yourself, somebody else makes 5,000, it's like the world is much more influenced by them than you, because you made so few copies. Yeah, we just don't have any idea how that's going to work. And music videos don't provide a clue. They're creative. They're not predictive. You can't say, well, this is how it worked in the music video.
Some ideas suggested it can be either a simulated environment, like sort of like, I don't know, like I didn't get really what is simulated environment. This is like a VR kind of simulated environment, or synthetic bodies. So, but still it's very kind of, even in that case, conceptual of what is mind uploading. And yeah, because like, yeah, it's all concerns, and that's why I was like, what it's even consciousness and being human, and if it's important to be human itself. So.
Yeah, then there's the whole issue of predation, and it's kind of a political thing. Like, I think you wouldn't all agree about whether the world that you live in should have some beings killing other beings and stuff, even if they're very tiny or very different from humans. It's actually very resource intensive to like feed all the lions and tigers and everything, so nothing has to kill, right? That's an enormous enterprise, and it seems kind of silly to think about doing that, but I don't know.
I have just one more question. How do you think the meaning of living will change once we have an upload to our do you think it'll be positive, like people will be able to do things they enjoy, like go take more education, or do you think it'll be more like a negative approach?
I think that it will be dependent on the direction of where are we going. Because if we are going on a positive direction, then it might be a yes, and maybe we'll be influenced on how we are sharing our minds, so the interaction between individuals' minds, because then it will be a new definition of the real world. Instead, if we are going in a negative direction, then it will, it can be like a sort of Hunger Games lifestyle, right? Because I might be worried that an hacker can erase me completely, and it can be like clicking on delete this mind, and then I will be gone. And then I don't know, like a sort of, I imagine it, it's very stupid, but I imagine as an interaction like a video game, and I will be gone as well. So I don't know, I think it really depends on the direction of the...
So I think one problem in the literature is that Nick Bostrom's book, Deep Utopia, is about a solved world. But in a world where we've solved all the big questions, that doesn't mean that you can't still build things, make things, do things. Whereas the book makes it seem like all of life is answering those big questions. Once you have the answers to them all, then there is nothing else valuable to do. I don't think that's true at all. Even if you had the answers to all the big questions, there's still new things to be created and new kinds of experiences to be explored. Yeah. So I think that will continue to be a reality. Well, if we keep going on and on, there's no time for the other students. So anyway, thank you very much.